Welcome viewers to My Startup TV. NASSCOM AP and Telangana in association with My Startup TV brings you this special show that showcases inspiring stories, news and views. The show will be broadcasted on the 1st and 15th of every month. This episode is on digital marketing. I am your host Aishwarya. Top headlines for today are: NASSCOM COE launches Healthcare Innovation Challenge 2.0. Mercedes-Benz R&D awarded by NASSCOM. NASSCOM's Future Skills Prime Learning gets 3.4 lakh registrations. Before I proceed with today's news, I request our viewers to take necessary precautions as the battle against COVID-19 is not over yet. Always wear a mask, wash your hands frequently, step out if needed and maintain social distancing. Remember, this is the time we fight the virus together. Now the news in detail are: according to a NASSCOM report, information technology service providers are witnessing a 30% growth in digital deals. The report also states there is an 80% jump in cloud spending and a 15% rise in customer experience spending since the coronavirus outbreak. NASSCOM Center for Excellence has launched Healthcare Innovation Challenge 2.0. The challenge aims to address the problems faced by healthcare providers in digital technology adoption. In this edition of the challenge, the healthcare providers across the country are invited to nominate use cases as per their digital solution needs. IT industry body NASSCOM along with the Ministry of Electronics and IT launched the Future Skills Prime Learning platform. About 3.4 lakh engineering students, graduates and employees working in IT and non-IT have enrolled for the Future Skills program. NASSCOM has awarded Mercedes-Benz Research and Development India with ER&D Organization of the Year award. Mercedes-Benz R&D has been recognized for engineering innovation. NASSCOM Center for Excellence along with Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology and Gujarat Department of Science Technology MSME Department organized the second edition of virtual conference on Udyam 4.0 Nai Disha, Digital Innovative Solutions for helping Atmanirbharta to improve technology-based solutions in MSMEs by bringing together industry leaders from MSMEs, startups and leading policy makers. That's all for today. Thanks for watching.
Welcome viewers to My Startup TV. I'm here with another episode of Tech Next Show. In this program, we showcase businesses that are members of NASSCOM in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. The show is broadcasted on the 1st and 15th of every month and is produced by NASSCOM, AP and Telangana and My Startup TV. Today's episode is on the trends, impact and future of digital marketing. I'm Major Sunil Shetty, your host this evening. Digital marketing has become a part of go-to-market strategy for most businesses and a preferred career choice for most millennials. What's driving digital marketing is its flexibility to adapt to the ever-changing market needs quickly. Digital marketing helps businesses reach their customers in a specific geography, and most important, it provides measurable impact, unlike in the traditional form of marketing. The global lockdown due to COVID-19 pandemic has made the need for digital marketing stronger than ever. My guests this evening are digital marketing professionals who will help us understand the trends, impact and future of digital marketing. My first guest is Abhijit Barulkar, founder of Target Oriate. My second guest is Colonel Anil Kumar, founder of Brand and Digital. And my third guest is Siddharth Bardwaj, business partner at Dr. Reddy's, who looks after digital marketing and innovation. Let's start with Bhardwaj. You look after digital marketing and innovation at Dr. Reddy, which is an MNC pharmaceutical company. We would like to know, the mindset of companies like yours, who are trying to reach, capture the global audience, and they have to be out there across the globe with your message. So how critical is digital marketing for you?
I think with respect to the change post-pandemic, the movement has been really fast. The kind of rigor and the kind of movement which we were planning to see almost 10 years from now, we are seeing it now. And for Dr. Reddy's, the core audience is the doctors, the HCPs, right? So we have seen that there is a shift in the consumer behavior with respect to the doctors, and we have then aggressively shifted all our strategies. Means initially it was like a 5% of the total marketing expenditure towards digital. Now we have created a separate wing altogether where we plan to address these doctors from an omni-channel approach, right? We have made it more centralized. We have made it more rigid with the kind of a process we are planning to assign. And with the kind of adoption, I believe in all the pharma, like in the landscape of pharmaceutical and healthcare, I think digital has become a very integral part now. And not far away, within 5 years, we'll be seeing almost 20-30% of the budget kept aside only for digital. So omni-channel is become active. Social media is very active. Paid media has taken a big role. E-commerce has been pushing all our products from 1mg and Pharmacy perspective. You must have also heard about Pharmacy acquiring Thyrocare and Pharmacy getting listed next year. So the ecosystem overall from the lens of digital has really evolved. And this is the first time in a history where I've seen a startup acquiring a listed company like Thyrocare. So really a great movement with respect to digital, and I think this is going to grow further because due to pandemic, the consumer behavior has now shifted, and that is quite evident with the data and the insights which you have received.
Abhijit, that should be music to your ears, isn't it? Where you hear, companies like MNCs like Dr. Reddy talking about the kind of budgets they have and how they are focused on, using digital as a medium to reach out to their potential customer. And very rightly, Siddharth brought up the point of how a startup goes on to acquire, a listed company.
It was very soothing to hear that. But I think that's the trend that even I have been experiencing. And what I also feel, and I think Mr. Siddharth can appreciate from his own background being on the innovation side of it, is digital marketing is not moving from paper to digital media. It's not putting an ad on Google against putting an ad on a hoarding on the street. It's slightly beyond that. So what's happening is how technology is increasingly playing a role there. How a human mindset is now being more augmented from an artificial intelligence, brain working
True.
equally, to make marketing more effective. So I think the whole ecosystem, like MarTech, the kind of technologies that are coming in, is evolving so rapidly, and the adoption level from large organizations going high. I think we are going to see some remarkable things happening in marketing, with digital being the primary, a driver for that.
Kanna Anil, you're also, apart from being, a digital marketing professional, you also undertake training. Are you seeing there is one thing that we always know, we hear is, lack of skilled workforce. Are you seeing there is a growing, demand among the millennials who are going to be the next big workforce for India? The enthusiasm or their awareness about the scope that digital marketing would provide them as a profession.
Yeah, yes, certainly. Because I have seen most of the, one of the reason why I've started training wing is because I found the people who come for the job, they are not adequately skilled. And in spite of having a lot of experience, when I ask them what is the Google Tag Manager, they are actually totally lost. So that is why we have started a vertical in which we do training. We are also been recognized as a training partner for Kerala government to train their youth on digital marketing, which would be starting in 2 months from now. The Like you rightly brought out, there is a demand in the market, but the quality is in question. Now there are so many courses which you find on the social media, and again they are using digital marketing, 1,000 rupees or 399 rupees. People are offering digital marketing course, and then probably run 4 or 5 days of course, and I think they are digital marketer. And in fact, when you go to LinkedIn also, you will find so many people, everybody say that they are digital marketer. So if you remember, Mr. Abhijit has mentioned, there are a lot of difference between advertising and marketing. Placing an ad, 18-year-old son of mine can also put an ad better than me. But, marketing is something beyond it. Marketing is the complete, we let a consumer travel his consumer journey from, creating awareness in his mind and creating interest thereafter. And that we transform into the desire and finally end up in that consumer buying your product or service. So yes, rightly brought out by you, there is a demand of a lot of digital marketers, the millionaires, but however the quality is in question. And one of the reason maybe because, for example, we know like for project management, there is a certification called PMP. And for every particular aspect, there is a certification. In digital marketing, in bit and pieces, like SEO is done by somebody. So I think there is a requirement of an agency, international agency coming up in one examination for people to qualify that certification to be, probably later termed as a digital marketer.
So Abhijit, I know you work with MNCs and also SMEs. What kind of awareness or enthusiasm do you find among SMEs, especially when it comes to adapting digital marketing as the new way of promoting their product or business?
It varies a bit across industries. There are some industries, probably because of their nature, there are a lot of tech companies which have become a competition for them in this world of convergence, right? So their adoption level is little more. But in general, as Mr. Siddharth was also pointing out, in the last 1.5 years, among all bad things that have happened, one good thing that has happened is the adoption for digital. And when we look at this SME as a segment, a lot of them have come up to a stage due to sort of entrepreneurship and heroism of a few individuals who have brought company to a certain level. But now that the competitive landscape has tremendously changed, for example, such as startup actually buying out and well-established, incumbent in the space, I think the digital has become a very powerful weapon for the SMEs. So all of them want to go digital, and again, as Kannan Anil said, it's such a big problem that somebody with a 6 months experience on digital marketing can claim to have an expertise, whereas a certain level of enterprises do not have the maturity to really compare apple to apple, or realize the importance of engaging a right partner to help them understand their business from a business acumen perspective, bring in the right technology, and have the marketing skills to take them to the next level. So I think there is definitely an improvement in the way they are looking at things. Digital here is here to grow, and many of them are putting aside a significant amount of their budget and effort to drive digital marketing for their organizations. There's always a dilemma as to whether they organically build capability internally or they engage a partner who can sort of support them to drive it. There's no magic answer to that. But if you can really do a right mix of it and take the right professional services at an appropriate time, those organizations which are looking forward to that have seen being able to leverage more from digital than others.
Siddharth, I'll take from where Abhijit has left when he says, there is no magic answer to whether you grow a team, internally or outsource your work for when it comes to digital marketing. Can you share for the benefit of our viewers and also the millennials who will be watching this program as to what was the thought process when it came to digital, when it came to Dr. Reddy's building its own in-house team, and what do you keep in mind when you're building your team, hiring people for your team?
I think I am echoing what Abhijit just said, that it has to be a mix. It cannot be that we cannot be 100% dependent on the agency versus we cannot take it completely in-house because we'll be shifting from our core capabilities, which is manufacturing, right? So with respect to my Dr. Reddy's perspective is we have almost 700 odd brands, right? Every brand has a brand manager connected to it. Now, every brand manager's responsibility is to create a brand plan, which is a mix of offline and online digital elements. So with respect to capability building, we internally conduct a lot of workshops. We invite people from Google, Facebook, Amazon to give them proper training on a regular basis. just to make sure that the evolution curve comes for them for the digital aspect as well, which is currently I would say is at a nascent stage, at a startup stage, but it will soon mature as soon as we reach maybe 2025 and so on. But that kind of a learning curve is currently going on to support the kind of implementation which they want to do. So I would not say we have an in-house agency. What we have is I'm kind of a support system for them, who bridges the gap between what an agency is trying to give versus what a brand manager is trying to ask. We try to bring more realistic elements to it from the level of costing, from the level of KPIs. We define the KPIs and we make sure that the projects gets executed, with a very set agendas. There no one can take each other's advantage. Everybody is like having a very balanced place, and we are the person who are planning to have that balance. So with respect to that mix and the magic word which Abhijit just used, yes, most of our work we get it done from the agency's perspective. But yes, agencies also, as Colonel said, agency also needs to evolve, so we have stopped working with startup agencies because we have seen a lot of lag in terms of the understanding and in terms of the awareness about digital, right? For me, we have evolved into from a digital marketing to a growth marketing kind of a perspective. Now we are called growth marketers, where our KPIs more comes from aspects like it should be sales driven, it should be lead generation. We are not focusing only on the likes and the engagement pieces anymore. Now we have evolved it into a more of a matured stage where we are asking for those kind of KPIs, whereas agencies are not ready to take up that kind of a pressure ki nahi, we can't deliver sales. You can only ask from me with respect to engagement or likes. Sales, I will leave it up to you. So there is no skin in the game which they want to play with, and we have made internally we have made it very clear that whichever agency has the potential to have a skin in the game is the agency we want to work with, because through that skin in the game aspect, they will be actually playing the game with us, and we'll be learning much more faster, and the evolution will actually happen. Otherwise we'll remain at that static stage where they are offering likes and engagement and we are taking likes and engagement just for the sake of it. So that thing is changing, but we have identified agencies and now we are working with them. So you can call it a mix of 80s to 20, where 80% dependency is still there on the agencies, but this will go down with time and maybe will bring in a 50-50 kind of a ratio maybe after 3-4 years from now.
Abhijit, one of the things that in digital marketing you always see where people talk about, as rightly Siddharth said, about likes and views. And we know there are, multiple sites out there where you can get paid, visibility. Now, one of the things that you talk about digital marketing is that you can assess, or you can watch what is the impact. So, is that not a disconnect when you say we can analyze what is the impact is creating, but then there could be an agency which is actually using paid promotion to get the amount of views and likes?
I think the customers are being very smart now. So this world is evolving and everybody in the ecosystem is evolving. So I think any matured customer, for that matter, as Reddy Labs, which Mr. Siddharth is representing, right? I think his view is absolutely fine, for the reason that end of it, you can show 100 metrics that have been met by an agency or a marketing company. If that doesn't translate eventually into a tangible ROI for client, then it is like operation successful, patient dead. See, end of the day, it has to translate. So working along with sales, what the objectives are, and then working backwards, and your digital metrics can be intermediate stage to measure how well you are performing before you reach the end stage. So I think it's obviously a choice that an organization has to make with respect to how much skin would you like to put in game and at what point of time. For instance, I happen to work with lot of startups, many of them, and marketing is only one component in the whole equation, which has to work together for the business or the product to run actually. So where an agency puts its skin into the game is a very conscious and diligent choice that an agency has to put. And if the agency has the conviction in the way things are going, and also the alignment of thought process with the client, if those things are in place, then I think it definitely makes sense for every partner. And that's where you call yourself a partner, not just a vendor or an agency, right? To work along with customers. But sometimes there is a lot of branding to be done for products which are new or the brands which are new. Now, the ROI in terms of revenue will probably come down the line at some point of
Absolutely.
time in the future. That's where you will have to make a balanced choice. And I am sure that customers are smart enough to realize the difference between an established brand and a brand new brand, and how much they should invest on branding versus how much they should invest on something which will translate into their sales targets meeting, I think. If that
Correct.
balance is met, and then I think the partnership is here to stay and run for a longer time.
Colonel Anil, your company is into branding and digital. So, as Abhijit talked about, the branding part of it. Is there any, when it comes to digital marketing, do the brands have to position themselves differently? Is there any difference between traditional way of branding yourself versus branding yourself on digital marketing? Now, why I come to this point is, when you go to, let's say, a channel like YouTube, where you get 5 seconds before somebody, skips your ad, or on any other digital platform, you get 5 seconds. So within that 5 seconds, you have to create an impact. How do you do it?
Sir, as I understand correctly, because this was a matter of discussion when I was doing the course in the IIM. Generally, first of all, people get confused between three words: the advertisement, the branding, and the marketing. And it do happen with the newly come up startup also. They also get confused with this. So we ask them, what do you want? Are you only looking for, branding? Then our focus will be in branding. And if you're only looking for lead generation, but we prefer to go for a marketing, digital marketing. So we grow with the brand. We would like to get involved in their business plan from the beginning, and we travel along with them so that the every aspect is taken care of. Now I come to the specific question you asked about the difference between the branding as well as in the traditional way or a conventional way and the digital branding. There is not much of a difference. Yes, the advantage of the digital media is, like you rightly brought out, it is measurable. You will be able to target them, pinpoint them. For example, if I put a hoarding there in Banjara Hills, I don't know how many people are seen. What are the targets? I mean, that my audience, because I have a target audience, and I cannot say that it is only selectively for that, but I can do it in the digital media. For example, let's say I am going to manage an IIT Agash kind of an institute, I'm branding. Of course, I will look for those age group, 16 to 18 or 20 age group wala youngsters. We'll be focusing them, which is possible to them. And as a branding is nothing, sir. Branding is nothing which you are creating kind of something similar to an idol, because you are building trust on the promises which you made by your brand, and people able to identify your product or service or a company with a logo. It's something like you believe in Ganapati or whatever statue. When you close your eyes, you completely have a trust. Okay, this is something which is going to get me what I asked for. Or, I mean, obviously the expectations in a product and service is little different, but I'm using that analogy.
Siddharth, going forward as an MNC, and somebody is going to be, as you said, strike a balance between how you're going to position your product and use the digital marketing strategy. What do you see as a trend? Is the spend going to be more and more toward digital, moving away from a traditional way of marketing?
With respect to the trend, honestly, I don't see digital marketing and traditional marketing on a very different route. It's digital marketing is more of an extension to traditional marketing formats. When I say that, what I mean is whatever communication that has been designed. So you talked about that 6-second piece, right? So whenever we design a communication, we see that where are we trying to fit in? That 6 second is actually a 3-page brochure that a sales rep is taking to the doctors as well. We are converting that 3 pages to 6 seconds videos. We are converting that 3 pages to a static image as well. So we are creating a lot of collaterals from something that has been created for offline, right? So digital is more of an extension that I see. And yes, with respect to the measurement aspect, with respect to the ROI aspect, if digital starts impacting much more, which I don't forecast very soon, honestly, because the behavior will change, will shift gradually. Pandemic definitely has accelerated the pace, but people will come back to reading newspapers and going to restaurants and watching movies. I think those behaviors will go back, but there will be a shift that will happen. And in the next 5 to 10 years, most probably the spends will definitely go up. So honestly, I think currently it is at 27% CAGR for digital spends for overall ad spends. Stands at 11% and this stands at 27%. So I think this 27% is definitely going to jump higher to 30-40% in the near future. That means I can just forecast for the next 5 years. We don't see what happens after that.
Abhijit, again, I must say that must be pleasing to hear, isn't it? The numbers that an MNC company is giving when it comes to digital spend. Uh, what do you think? More and more MNC SMEs are going to join the bandwagon, and you adopt digital marketing or digital strategy as they go forward?
I think there is no question about it. I think what will probably play a more vital role is the innovation that we can bring in. As Mr. Siddharth was saying, it's not about marketing or traditional marketing or digital marketing. It's more about what digital marketing can do for you. And I think there is a lot of innovation happening in this space. Even if for the sake of discussion we want to keep these two different marketings for comparison, I think traditional is going to just augment digital marketing and vice versa. So they will coexist. There's probably a sort of hyper local market. There's a personal touch involved. There are a lot of things that traditional marketing can bring. For instance, no matter how closely we can talk, we still can't have a cup of coffee right now while we are speaking to each other. At the same time, the collaboration, the interactive, it's not a one-way communication with your customer. There is so much of personalization that you can do. There's so much of interactivity that you can build. There's so much of detailed measurement that you can do with digital. There's so much of technology that you can leverage. So it goes without saying that everybody is going to increase their spend and investment of effort into digital, maybe gradually. And SMEs will probably adapt it even more for the reason that it's more easily accessible and it is also a little more economic in some sense. And they probably cannot take up the mass media platforms that offline can offer. So the adoption probably will be more on SME segment is what I feel going forward.
Thank you, viewers, for joining us. You can watch our program live on My Startup TV channel, on Android app, and across My Startup TV social media, or simply log on to www.mystartuptv.in. You can watch this program on YouTube channel of NASSCOM Hyderabad and on My Startup TV. Thank you for joining.
As the famous adage goes, what comes in people's eyes is what sells. And new age technology has made it possible to catch the eyeballs through digital marketing. Welcome viewers to My Startup TV. I am your host Aishwarya. I am back with another episode of What's the Trend. Digital marketing has become the key to grab people's attention. Due to the global pandemic, the past year has seen digital transformation becoming a reality for businesses of all kinds. The world of advertisement has transformed with 65% of its total revenue now coming from mobile ads. Customers always had specific needs, but the advent of the digital era has made it possible for businesses to be mindful of what the customers want. The understanding between the customers and companies is creating the market. Today, with just a click, our purchases are delivered at our doorsteps, all thanks to the digital process. The key step while scaling up a business is hiring a digital marketing agency or a professional. A digital marketer helps in market positioning and driving returns on investments. When the new age marketing professionals work on improving a brand's image, the entrepreneurs have all time to connect with their potential customers and explore new opportunities. A digital marketing agency provides many components that could be of a great help to a business. Search engine optimization. To appear and remain on top of Google search is the end game for businesses. However, climbing to the top requires constant efforts on SEO. 72% of people looking for answers go to Google search engine. A digital marketing professional is responsible for the SEO campaign that helps to find the target audience. Video advertising. YouTube is a platform that is being used in all spectrums of life. People retain more than 65% of information through a video. A digital marketing agency offers you multiple video production options. Digital marketing professionals can help create short videos for stories and reels to attract more eyes. Mobile marketing. How customers make purchases has changed. Almost 50% of the searches are made on a mobile device. So the prime focus is on YouTube ads, app installs, app advertising, etc. Tracking. It is important to track the contribution done by your digital assets in driving traffic to your website. A digital marketing professional can use UTM parameters to track a company's reach on Google Analytics. They provide you with in-depth reports about the sources of the users. Trends in digital marketing and SEO give us an idea about the direction in which a business is developing. If 2021 has taught us anything, it is that we need to be agile in our approach towards people, technology, and digital trends. That's all for today. Thanks for watching.
Welcome viewers. This evening my guest is Abhijit Balulkar, co-founder and CEO of Target Oriate, a digital-focused consulting and marketing firm. Welcome Abhijit, welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mr. Sunil. It's a pleasure being here.
So we hear so much about digital everywhere you go. And I'm sure companies like yours are in big demand.
Well, I think there are two sides of it. On one side, yes, the adoption for digital, both on the brand side as well as on the consumer side, has significantly increased, partly because of need and partly because it makes more sense to use like that. The downside has been that some of the businesses have really run into a lot of financial crisis. So although they wanted to do digital, they wanted to go this way, their appetite to invest reduced a bit. But I'm glad the world is returning to normalcy, and we will have a further brighter future for all the businesses, including digital marketing.
Tell us about what kind of services does Target Oriate provide to its businesses, and is it different to what you do through your US entity and to what you do through your Indian entity?
I think what we offer across the globe is same. India comes as a very strong delivery center to produce and deliver high quality services, and regional offices which began from US would obviously provide the cultural touch, the interface with client, the business context of that market, etc. The services are pretty much A to Z within the digital space. So we start from developing a comprehensive go-to-market strategy for clients. Now, the strategy can be implemented in the form of digital, a majority of it, part of it could be offline. Then we work on digital enablement, as we call it. It's all about building the right websites, portals, e-commerce sites, mobile apps, etc., to make sure that the digital face of the organization that we are working with looks as good as they are in practice. Then a host of digital marketing initiatives, whether it is organic search enablement through SEO or social media marketing, influential marketing, content marketing, video marketing, and then the last stage is looking at analytics. I think that's where digital has such a big role to play, that you can actually track the performance of your campaigns, and you can bring more interactivity between the interaction between the brand and the consumer, and you can really look at and track which campaigns are giving you better ROI. So these four things, from strategy to analytics, is what we provide to clients.
So is my understanding correct that you are providing all these services under one umbrella, where also we see that there are a lot of businesses who are doing standalone. There are companies or small businesses who build websites. There are people who do just the SEO part. There are people who are providing you the analytics, likes of Google that provides you analytics as well. And you are bringing all of it under one umbrella. So if that be the case, how do you compete with, on so many fronts?
What I see, and I think we served more than 100 clients in last 5+ years. What we observed is, on one end, we have services companies who would run the program for you. And on the other end, we have product companies or platforms, like you said, Google, and there are so many products which provide you the platform and products to be able to, do your marketing activities. what we try to bring is the solutions between them. So end of the day, when we look at a given industry, for instance, just to give an example, right? Now, if you're launching, if there's a customer is launching a brand new product and and such a concept also does not exist in the market, then the whole marketing strategy has to focus on, perhaps to an extent, non-personalized communication, because there's nobody going right now searching for that product because it's an innovative product. Nobody has thought about it. Then it is all about creating awareness about that product in a little more generalized and indiscriminative manner. Whereas if you are in a very competitive landscape where you are one of the other 100 products which are already there, then your personalized ads, your personalized marketing mix plays a role. So what we really try to do for our clients is to understand their business context and the environment, and then build a solution which brings the right initiatives, the right tools, the right platforms, and the right best practices for them to be able to excel. If there are certain areas where we do not have an internal strong capability, then there's such a good partner ecosystem available with everybody interested to collaborate. So we actually collaborate with the right organization which can provide that complementary service. But it is all driven towards what a customer needs rather than what I have to offer on my table.
So in many ways, the today's digital marketing companies are, a PR company, a branding company, an advertising company, all rolled into one. So how do you compete with or how do the clients see you? And even how do the traditional advertising companies and branding companies see you?
Technology has started playing a vital role in this. So if you look at a traditional ad agency in the past versus the marketing companies today, I think what has made a difference is the advent of technology and data, which has started playing. It is important how you look. It is more important how you work actually. So when you run a campaign, when you run an ad, when you do a small creative, it's all also about how it is performing. So I think what I bring personally as an individual to my company is my past experience of leveraging digital to drive business growth of clients and operational efficiency. So we can make use of technology and data to improve the processes, whether it's a marketing process or it's an operational process. So what we realize today is data and technology. So we bring a mix of creativity, data, and technology together to be able to drive the growth of clients actually. And I think if I with whatever little interaction I had with the traditional marketing players as well, I think they also have realized the need for having a very close look at the data that is being generated, because the biggest advantage of digital marketing is that it gives you ability to track the metrics and performance. So I think that's a value that we add to our clients, and how good is marketing working for them is completely data driven.
Going forward, do you see traditional ad agencies or branding companies would survive in the form they are today, or they will end up also having a digital component into their businesses? And the second part would be uh, companies like Target Orient. Are you going to be competing with them, or you become their strategic partners so that you bring in your kind of expertise to the traditional branding and ad companies?
Yeah, I think some ad agencies decide to focus on their creative part, which is their core skill, and they partner with companies like us to drive the digital piece of the initiative actually. In such case, obviously, it's a collaboration. I think certain companies have decided to build their own internal digital marketing capabilities as well. I guess everybody does that today. Some of them build it internally or sort of acquire a company and do that. Then yes, obviously we end up in a competitive landscape. But the world is so big, and there is so much of digital yet to be leveraged all across the matured as well as emerging economies, that there is space for everybody who can add value to the client.
There's so much noise around digital marketing, SEO. I think there is not a single day goes, when somebody doesn't approach you, offering service. How do we, as a end user, how do we decide whether it is a business or individual who are trying to do their personal branding? What is that? How would we pick over Target Orient over other so individual or companies?
Yeah, I think that's not an easy choice to make. There's the fierce competition all over actually. But at least the way we approach client is we start with a strategy phase, saying that whether you engage for us for marketing or you do it internally, or you engage a third party. The fact is you got to have a right strategy in place that gives us an entry into the client's account. And more importantly, we educate the client during the journey. So they are not just doing digital marketing because somebody somewhere said you got to do 3 social posts every week and that's called digital marketing. Actually, it's not. It's not. You and I keep receiving and getting bombarded with so much of content all over. What would you care if somebody just every day, sort of pushing out some content to you because they think you are their target audience? It's not just that. So I think strategy becomes an important, a first step for somebody who wants to first venture out into this. And then piloting is very important. Marketing is not maths. Marketing, what has worked for X may not work for Y. What has worked for X at some point of time may not work for the same X at another point of time. Because the competitive landscape is changing, the market is changing, consumer demands are changing, the expectations are changing, the relevance can change. So the second thing that we do is actually the whole idea of piloting. Can you pilot the whole effort with smaller stakes in terms of less budget, less time, and less results? But then you are treating your path towards marketing very in a very structured manner, and then that also tests the partnerships on the way actually.
When you charge a customer, would it be a cost plus model where you take a set fee for your services and then there would be cost that the client would incur for, let's say, marketing it? I mean, like when you go on to, if you're doing an ad on Google Ads, I know there is a set cost. So is that the model you follow?
We work in phase 1 and phase 2 manner. Phase 2 is we actually charge client for the retainership fee. We charge a monthly retainership fee to the clients for the services that we are offering to client. It's pretty simple. We also work along with client to do a budgeting on the media buying. The kind of spend they got to do on Google and other social media platforms and other platforms, and that can be actually paid directly by client to the platforms. So we don't charge any commission out there. So we charge for the services that we offer. Now, subsequently, we also work with clients in a model where we buy the media on behalf of client. And there's a very big advantage with that. The advantage with that is client is committing to spend that much on advertising. That will also make the overall digital marketing more effective. So if you just leverage an agency's or a marketing company's services, but not spend as much as you are budgeted for the media, then the overall effectiveness can go down actually. So sometimes it's good for client, to actually allocate a budget and pass it on to the partner. And then the onus is on us to make sure that the budget is effectively used and the returns and the ROI on the budget is demonstrated back to the client in the phased manner that is committed as the part of as part of the contract.
So how much does the timeline? What's the timeline between phase 1 and phase 2?
It is actually the maturity level of the partnership with the client. So it can pretty well be 3 months. At the moment we work for 3 months, and sometimes it can be about a year. Where we work in model 1 for a year, and when the trust is established, and when it's not just the trust on a partner, but also trust on their own product, the trust on the market, and that they are all doing all right things. So once they have the conviction and the confidence that, okay, this is going to work out, then I think even clients would be willing to sort of, share the budget with the partner and then ask them to run it. Because and we are talking about a sort of MSME segment where many of them would be doing serious investment of marketing effort for the first time when they engage with us. So they have to travel through this, what we call as a journey of trust, before they, as you rightly asked during the beginning of this call, some of them would still have at the back of their mind that whether they should or they should not, invest into digital marketing by itself. They would have brought this company from zero to certain stage, but then it takes some time for them to realize that from that stage to making it a big corporate or an enterprise, that they got to do certain things that they have not done in the past.
What are your thoughts about the initiative by NASSCOM, AP and Telangana to host small businesses like you onto a tech show?
I think this is brilliant actually. So I really appreciate the kind of investment NASSCOM and your organization is doing to enable this actually. Now, this could be, the medium could be various. The medium could be 10 different mediums through which it goes, but this is definitely going to bring a lot of thought leadership together. And this will also be very good educative sessions for the general enterprises in the market who are looking for leveraging, some of these niche technologies and services. It also gives organizations like us a sort of visibility and a platform to share our thoughts on what's happening in the industry and what we think we should be doing actually.
Thank you, Abhijit. Thanks for joining. Viewers, this show will be broadcasted on the 1st and 15th of every month. You can watch our program on NASSCOM Hyderabad channel. You can also watch this program live on My Startup TV channel, on our Android app, or on social media. Or you can simply log on to www.mystartuptv.in.
We have over 400 startups and MSME shows on our TV channel. Do check out. My Startup TV is now available on Google Play Store, so you can get all the latest news on startups and MSMEs on the move. You can also support us by subscribing to our TV channel, and do not forget to press the bell icon. You can follow us on Koo, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, or visit our website www.mystartuptv.in. Thanks for watching.